everybody. Welcome to the first episode of this series wherein two of my friends and myself included will talk about everything under the sun, whether it be adulting, about life, about school, about time management, everything, you name it, we are going to cover it. This is 20 minutes of honesty with the Honest Three. All right. So, since we are in quarantine, we are doing our first ever episode through an online video conference. So, that's what is almost the normal now in 2020. Everyone is meeting virtually. And so we are here in our first episode. As much as we'd like to spend it in actual face-to-face video, but we have to settle with a video call first. But today we are going to talk about that. We are going to talk about quarantine, about the situation we are in. And for 2 months, we have already been safe at home. We weren't allowed to go out. So there were a lot of major life transitions for the three of us. And we are going to share that today. And as what the title will say, that will only take you 20 minutes. And so since we are about justice and fairness and, being transparent about everything, we are going to make sure
we will reach 20 minutes, yes.
Yeah, so 20 minutes again. So, yes. So let's keep it real. 20 minutes of honesty starts now. All right. So, let's set the ground first. Let's set the ground context. We have been quarantined for almost 2 months. March 15 was the implementation of the community quarantine in major cities of Cebu. So we have Cebu City, Talisay, I think Lapu-Lapu and Mandaue. We are all under quarantine. And Danessa is from Cebu. I'm from Lapu-Lapu. Chen is from Mandaue. And we have been stuck at home. And with our unique individual personalities, we have undergone many changes since the quarantine. And we have struggles. And we have struggled. But we found how to cope. And, we want to share these coping mechanisms with you. So, Chen, why don't you start and tell us your struggles when you transitioned from your general life, your normal life, into this new quarantine, stuck-at-home lifestyle?
All right. So, I'm going to share my experience. So, at first, I was really not serious about it. I didn't really take it seriously. I thought lang just do necessary precautions, but then it got worse. So now nag-ECQ na. So at first pag-announce nga work from home na na-excite na ako I'm going to work at home. I don't have to travel 1 hour from Mandaue to Cebu City. So
no more traffic. Yeah,
no more traffic, and I could just wake up an hour before my time in. So then.
So you were looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to it. But so naabot na ang mga days like ang separation anxiety, ang the isolation na feel na good na ko. And in line with that, I just want to share I am a people person. So I like going out whenever I'm stressed. I just want to see my friends or different outlets nga ako ang mapag-outsan sa ako ang stress pa. So it was really hard for me kaya nisink in na good ang quarantine ba yan. Gimingaw na ko nila. So, siya. And it was not an easy transition for me. Kaya lagi, ganahan ko makita nila in flesh and makastorya nila like face to face. So, na-struggle ko, But, I'm going to talk about my coping mechanism or not yet.
We'll move on to Danessa first, of course.
Okay.
Let's see what someone else is struggling. And then maybe later on, we can all discuss how we all coped with it. So thanks, Chen, for sharing that. I know that loneliness can get really bothersome. Yeah. Especially if you're stuck at home. Yeah, because Chen is always out, always laag, always in the mall, always going to places. And of course, she's always with her twinnie, diba? And it's Danessa. So Dan, how about you? Was your experience the same with Chen, or was it entirely different?
For me, I was also looking forward to going home because, I stayed at a dormitory as well, far from home. So I was excited to spend like the whole day with my family because I miss them sad. But same with Chen, I felt chill. I didn't take it seriously. I didn't take, my struggles are different from those frontliner struggles. And
yeah.
But as an employee in quarantine as well, we have different struggles. Like for example, difficulty in communicating with our employers, and especially not just in the office, but those in the site, in the construction site. And there were times na early in the morning, the engineers would call me, and I was like, yes. And there were times I was eating. So that was a struggle, like communication, good. And another struggle would be managing your time well. Like for example, you have to be productive, and you kanang dili ka magpinalax ba just because you're at home. You still have that responsibility because you're paid to do the job. So those are like the struggles. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah. So Chen is more like about social, being social, emotional, and of course Danessa is talking about the struggles of working from home and everything that has to go with it. Me, on the other hand, I am very, very blessed that I am not a worker. So I am a student. I am still
enjoy
in college.
Being a student.
And the thing is, my course is physical therapy, and it needs like an actual face-to-face interaction with the teacher. So transitioning from actual school to online school was really hard for me. So it was a lot of just theory learning and a lot of worksheets, and it was so hard for me to be productive, and I felt like I was slacking, and I was comparing myself with a lot of my batchmates and always asking them, hey, are you finished with the worksheet, or have you done all the worksheets? And here I was just stuck in bed, and I was so unmotivated to do things because I was worrying about a lot of things. I'm worrying about my mom who has to go to work. I'm worrying about the students at school, and so I was really unproductive. And that was the problem for me. Like, where do I strike a balance between being productive and also being taking it light on myself? So that was it for me. And of course, I think we all agreed, like we were talking, right, like weeks ago, that we were really hitting a slump with our problems. But thankfully, we found coping mechanisms that we'd like to share with you as well. So, Chen and her brother, of course, CJ, maybe...
Sorry for that.
Maybe you guys would want to share. Chen, how did you cope with your missing your friends and wanting to go out?
Yeah, it's really hard for me. Okay? There are days nga I just miss the people, but I just miss being with the people, especially sa akong mga friends nga. I just tear up nga. Kailak na lang ko nga. Lord, I really miss them. It was really a hard transition but I found a coping mechanism. First is spending time with the Lord.
Yes, that's important.
Really helped me a lot. Okay. I felt like isolated na from people, but when I spend time with the Lord, I'm still na-realize na ko nga I'm not alone. I don't have to worry. I'm not alone. And then also staying connected with other people, especially with my friends. And I'm really thankful that we have trainings sa youth. I could still see them. I could still catch up with them through the internet. But lahira gyud ba if kanang face to face galing But then
Yeah.
you just have to make use of the time or make use of the opportunity nga we are given right now na internet. Then also speaking of making use of my time, so I tried to keep myself busy on other things. Like I tried so many new things.
She tried baking, guys.
Yes,
So,
we have our local baker already.
but work out, reading books, and I don't usually do that on a normal day. So just making use and spending time with the family, discipleship with the family, praying together. So
That's so
I'm just
nice
really
to
thankful
hear.
ba that
Yeah.
in everything ba kay naagyoy way ang Ginoo gani in that's
Wow,
it.
nice.
That's how I
It's very nice because now, Chen, how would you say you feel? Like, do you still feel lonely, or have you gone better?
there are really days, but kato, what really helped me kay kanang staying connected with people, like video chat, video call. So, that really helped me kay isolated na gali ka niya. Imo pa jud isolate yourself. So you just have to open yourself up good.
Yeah.
So,
Use the blessings
true.
that we have.
call
Yes.
my friends,
Yes.
randomly chat them. Just to,
Yeah, and speaking
pansin.
of randomly chat, I know that you keep chatting Danessa, and every day you guys message each other. How about you, Dan? How was your experience with working from home, and how were you able to cope with your struggles working from home?
Mine was a little bit of an adjustment because like it was different when you're in the office and you're at home. So, a little discipline that we can all use is, firstly, my coping mechanism would be establishing a routine. So, like for example, setting an alarm in the morning so that you can do so much more in a day. So,
Yeah,
example,
that's so helpful.
yeah. Example, like if you're a Christian, you can spend your mornings with the Lord. You can study His Word, and you by that you set your priorities straight already. Then after that, you go to work, and then after work, you do some exercise, and then you have a little pamper time after work, something like that. And then I know for me, it's really important to have a routine because it maximizes, and you can achieve that optimal productivity good ba even if you're at home, and it kanang dili ka malax, dili ka ma-chill, and also it develops discipline in your life. And for me, that's a life skill.
Yeah, it's like you're being accountable with yourself.
Yes, and you're accountable with the time that is given to you. So
Time is gold.
Amen. So the second coping mechanism that really helped me is doing some exercise, doing some sweating, working out. But to be honest with you,
Guys, she asked me to make an exercise program for her.
Yeah.
But
because I know
she
Max
didn't
is a very good physical therapist, even if he's still a student. Like he could pass the board exam already. Joke. So going back to my coping mechanism.
Top one.
Yeah. So for me, working out relieves your stress, especially when you're facing the monitor on a daily basis, and as well, it really helps. Example, if you want to burn some calories, because when you're at home, you're always eating. You have like 3 snacks a day, so why not lose some fat? So thirdly, my last coping mechanism would be to stay connected with your friends. Use the blessing of internet. Use the blessing of Messenger, of Zoom. Like Zoom, you're the best, Zoom. and
thank you, Zoom. Thank you, Lord, for Zoom.
So like what Max mentioned a while ago when he said that Chen will always chat me every day. Yeah, we send to encouragements with one another, like anything. Even we send memes with one another, and it helps. It helps in coping mechanism as well. And another thing would be to talk about life, talk about big questions in life. It's our late night.
Yeah, we always do
guys.
that. Karon na quarantine
Yeah,
kay
pondering.
stay na may mag-chat.
Mm. And
Pwede
you know,
mag-chat, mag-video call until 4 a.m.
oh no. So those simple things, just messaging your friends, you can give them encouragement,
Really a great
pray
help.
for them, yes, and you know that really helps. That really helps. So that's all. I hope you can learn from it, you can relate from it, you can share it to your friends also.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I feel like even though we have different problems, we kind of have these similar like struggles. It's more of like criticizing ourselves and making sure that am I doing right? Am I doing something like that? And for me, that really basically explains how I felt at the first start of quarantine. I was from a dorm and I only brought like a few stuff with me. I didn't even bring many of my books because I thought I was going to go back to the dorm after 2 weeks. But now it has been 2 months and I'm still at home. And still, there are still so many worksheets to be passed online. There's so many video projects. And, you know, unlike in school where you are accounted for every hour that you spend there, at home, you are given that freedom. And so I really was struggling about being productive. And as I said earlier, I kept comparing myself. So here is how I got over that. Number one is I told myself that it's okay to not be productive at this time. It is a global pandemic. There's so many global problems that, of course, as human beings, we are allowed to react and we should react. And not being so hard on myself and just telling myself that, you know what, Max, it's fine if today you lose. Next day, bawi na lang. So that kind of mindset really helps me, and it also makes me untoxic to myself because I don't punish myself so much anymore. It's like knowing, sige lang, today you will have a rest day, even though it's your third rest day. But tomorrow you are going to work your butt off and you're going to finish your assignments. And having a healthy relationship with yourself will really help in you being productive. Second thing that I did was I had to figure out my working hours. So in my day, I usually start my schoolworks at around 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. So those are my prime working hours when my brain is active, the internet is fast, and you know, I am unbothered during those hours. And that really helps me. Setting a time that I know I'm productive will help me be kinder to myself. Like when it's 12 noon and I'm eating lunch or I'm watching YouTube, I'll say, don't worry, Max, at 6 p.m. you'll start working, and that's just how you are. So embracing that for me really helped in just making sure I'm accountable to myself as well. I don't know if you get it, but the last thing that I did to cope with this productivity struggle, and I think this is the most important, was I stopped comparing myself to others. I stopped asking my classmates if they're done already or how many worksheets have they accomplished, how many requirements have they done. I stopped asking that and I just gave myself my own time and my schedule, and you know, I working at my own pace. And I stopped looking at others and I just focused on doing what I can do in one day. And I took it one day at a time. And so far, I'm really doing well with my requirements. And ever since the 2 week slump of just doing nothing, I have been really productive. And you know, taking it slowly, day by day lang yun. It's not always every day you're doing 3 assignments at once. Sometimes you do one at a day, one exam at a day. It's really fine. There are no rules, but you have to also stick by what you impose on yourself. And I think it has helped me. And I'm pretty sure, you know, we don't know how long this quarantine will take. We don't even know if schools are going to transition into online learning. And maybe this can help, you know, students who feel the same way. So for me, that's just it. And we almost beat the clock. It's 2 minutes until we stop being honest. So maybe what have we learned so far? Let's give each other time to share what we learned so far. I'll start. I learned that at quarantine, I am reminded that our days are really few. And since our days are so few, like suddenly the 24 hours becomes so fast, and I'm just reminded that, oh my gosh, truly, our time here is limited, and what we must strive for in this life is making sure our heart is pure before God. Like, that we give God a contrite heart to that. And I think that's just it for me. Even though how like weird it may sound, but for me that's really it. Like, how well am I doing with God? Like, in this world and in this pandemic that's fleeting, your relationship with God will really matter, and it's what matters most. How about you guys?
Who goes first?
Can I go first?
Yes,
Sure.
Danessa.
Okay,
1 minute.
Okay. So for me, what I learned, very helpful learning, is to be thankful always. I'm really thankful that we have a home, we can eat 3 times a day, and I'm still paid to
Gratitude.
work. Yes, a heart of gratitude, Jude. And I'm really thankful to the Lord for His blessings, for my friends who are always there. Just be thankful for all the resources that you have. Like, you may not have the most expensive things in life, but you have the essential things in life, and you have the
That's what
more than
matter.
Yes, that's the only thing that matters. So that's what I learned.
How about you, Chen? How about you?
For me, to appreciate things good, like make use and enjoy the moment, and like not enjoy the moment nga quarantine, but enjoy break. Looking at the brighter side of it, ba? Like staying home. So we're home. So magkuhan ka, do what makes you productive, what makes you achieve or be a better person.
Yeah.
That's right.
Guys, we did
Wonderfully
it!
said. We did it. We did the 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Okay, so guys, thank you. Of course, we want to end this video with a few reminders. Number one, this pandemic really hits us differently, and this is just one side of the story where we are very blessed to really have a home and have internet and have even like even yummy food, or like have rice or have electricity. Some of our countrymen are really struggling to make it at this point, and we just want to say we pray for them. We pray for the frontliners who have also been really brave in fighting this virus despite the really hard situation. So we don't want to degrade anyone in any way. Yeah, we don't want to sound so entitled, or we're very privileged, and we acknowledge that, and we're very thankful to God for all these blessings. And of course, we pay it forward. We not only pray for them, but we also donate. We also give away whatever we can for our frontliners. And at this time, it's really important, good, especially in this pandemic, to keep praying. I feel like, because this virus did not shock God. It's in His plan, and He has a greater purpose for all this. And once His purpose is fulfilled, then this will not last any longer. So,
this too shall pass. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. This too shall pass. And while waiting, we should be
prayerful.
We should take precautionary measures. We should always wash our hands, avoid touching each other's face. Yes. And of course, stay home. If you can, stay home. And I hope that these coping mechanisms will help you in staying home and make your day a little bit better. So, if you reached this part of the video, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you!
Please do subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell so that you will be notified whenever we upload something new. And who knows, next week we have something in store for you. We have a great lineup of video topics, and it will be a beautiful discussion. Of course, as what we always say, we are keeping it real here. We are honest, and we hope to see you in the next one. So, goodbye.